A while back, a bunch of people made Diablo 2, which everybody loved. Then half the people who made Diablo 2 left to go make Guild Wars, while the other half left to make Hellgate London. This game is entirely unique though. I mean, they were exceptionally creative with classes that you can play. Basically, you've got three factions, the Templars, Kabbalists, and Hunters, each of which get their own two classes. Here's a breakdown of what they all are. You have the Guardian, who for all intents and purposes is the Paladin from Diablo 2. Next you have the Blade Master, who for all intents and purposes is the Barbarian from Diablo 2. You have the Summoner, who is pretty much identical to the Necromancer from Diablo 2, in that he summons a horde of monsters that to do his bidding for him. The Evoker is basically a sorceress, like the one from Diablo 2. The Marksman is an exclusively long-range attacker, much like the Amazon from Diablo 2. The Engineer is another summoning class, similar to the Druid in all respects. The plotline goes like this. In the near future, demons show up and ruin everybody's shit. Mankind runs and hides in the subway system so that they can actually survive for 15 minutes. The actual gameplay picks up 20 years later, and demons are pretty much just roaming around doing whatever the hell they want. Humans have been researching technology and have rediscovered magic, and is combining these two elements to potent effect. The tutorial level has your character happening upon the sole surviving member of an elite group of Templars. You run across an elite group of Templars who have just been nearly wiped out, getting a scientist from one point to another. Keep in mind that this particular area has only the weakest zombies of the entire game, which really is bad for the Templars if their elite group gets wiped out by the weakest monsters. Hellgate London is some sort of MMO, RPG, FPS, action-adventure, RTS, and who knows what else, all crammed into one game. They've put so much into it that no matter what sort of gamer you are, you're bound to find something that you like. The problem here is that because they divided themselves over so many different categories, that each individual category is not as good as it could have been. Take the first-person shooter mode, for instance. Now, I don't really play RPGs because, I'm allergic to games that feel like work. If I wanted to run on a treadmill, I'd go run on a treadmill because that would actually give me some benefit in real life. But Hellgate's FPS style allows me to actually enjoy going out and leveling up instead of feeling bored out of my mind. There are still some problems with it, however. For instance, in the FPS mode, you have to hit F1 through F3 in order to change weapons instead of scrolling the mouse wheel as God intended. If you try to scroll the mouse wheel, you'll actually be ending up controlling the zoom level of the camera, so you'll be left wondering why you're staring at your own ass. There's also the fact that there is no hit model. Shooting the enemy in the head is the same as shooting them in the foot, so there's no point in trying to put some sort of sense into your aiming besides shooting at the general landmass that is your enemy. The only time you really start to miss it, though, is when fighting zombies, because everybody knows that shooting a zombie in the head is the only true way to kill it in real life. The only thing about this game that really pisses me off is that almost every single weapon can only be used by one faction. Now with the focus items, at least that makes sense, because at least it's like some sort of magic wand. It's just a conduit for the magic within the person, or something. What about all the pistols that are exclusive, though? Templars and Kabbalists get guns that do all kinds of wacky shit, and you'd think that a weapons expert like the Hunter would be able to point and click with them just like everybody else. And I haven't seen one single reason in-game why this is the case. Even anything, There's no point where they're like, "Oh no, we're sorry, you can't use our guns because you're not the right religion." Also, I can't figure out why the Templar advanced armor looks so retarded. I mean, it looks like Tron and a bunch of his buddies had a circle jerk all on top of Cortana or something. It's really weird. Let's take a look at this armor my Templar is wearing. It's kind of weird because the reflection that you see in it isn't actually the reflection that's in this level. It's actually reflecting something from a different level. Kind of weird. Another useful ability, turn invisible, then run away like a pussy. Although it's really quite a bit of fun to then shoot the monsters as they're calmly walking away from where you just were. Okay, one weird thing about Hellgate London, and I do not understand this at all, I'm holding one gun with both my hands, alright? And either my left mouse button or my right mouse button will fire it. It does the exact same thing, except that it doesn't do the exact same thing. If you go to your character screen, your left mouse button, your left hand, will do 5% chance of doing a critical damage, and the right mouse button will do 7% chance. Even though I'm just holding one gun. The same gun will have a different chance of doing critical damage depending on which mouse button you click. And that's retarded. But one crafty thing to do is that you can rebind things. you don't have to keep it with using left and right mouse down here. What you can do is select use the right hand weapon over here and put that in your left mouse button slot. And so then they're both using the left mouse button, so it doesn't matter what you click. But since, you still don't need two buttons for one action, especially on your mouse, I'd suggest, putting something actually useful in that other slot. I like to keep a grenade there myself. So now I consistently have a better chance of doing higher damage, and on top of that, I can also throw a grenade pretty much whenever I damn please. Like right now. And that's the way you do it. Money for nothing, and yeah, your chicks for free too. Forgot to mention that part. All in all, Hellgate London is a very good game, just not as great as it could have been. If all you wanted to just blast things away, or exclusively crank at gaining level, then you might be better off with something else. If you like to have your cake and eat it too, though, then I highly recommend this game. I give it a 7.9 and rising, because the game is constantly being upgraded and improved. One last topic I'd like to cover real quick is machinima using Hellgate London. And I've got to say, it really isn't a very good game for using machinima. There are no emotes, you can't have your character doing custom animations. There is no head bobbing. Well, I mean, there's a little bit, but you have to be holding a gun to do head bobbing, and it just ends up looking very unnatural and jerky. But I mean, if you really want to try, you could do so, certainly, and this is what it might look like if you did. Cage, you're in over your head. They got criminals out there running around and you can't do a damn thing about it. And you fucked up that Menendez case so bad we may not have a chance. Oh, come on, boss. That was not my fault. I mean, I'm doing everything I can out there. You could be a little bit more supportive. Quit your jibber jabber. Now I'm assigning you a partner, and that's final. This guy will help you out and keep you in line. Meet your new partner, Krakow. Oh my god. You gotta be fucking kidding. I'm a paladin, that's a fucking demon. What the hell are you thinking? Are you out of your fucking mind? Cage and Crackor, a new series on the WB. Alright, look, I don't like you and you don't like me, so let's just do our own thing until we get assigned new partners. Okay, no, there's no way in hell I'm letting you drive. We are the Borg. Lower your shields and surrender your ships. Resistance is futile. Yes, honey, I heard you the last 4 times. Now could you please get that light out of my eyes? Quit your jibba jabba. Ow, you hit me. Ow. Oh my god. Every time they come out with a new Star Trek series, it's just worse than the last one. Why do they bother? Why do you keep watching them if you keep hating them so much? Why do you keep breathing if you're just going to be annoying?
With a new secret ingredient, smiling.